Hello friends, and welcome to this week's Astrological Forecast. This week we will be looking at the time frame of August 14th to August 20th, 2023. This week we see a powerful shift in energy as the moon overcomes its challenges with its potential and its freedom, starting a new growth cycle with the dark new moon in Leo. This shift in energy is going to allow us to free ourselves and step into our potential from a level of the self from where we stand, with understanding, courage, and unconditional love. Monday, we see the moon in void of course, opposing Pluto in retrograde motion. This opposition, unflavored by the zodiac, is going to allow us to connect with these planetary bodies' raw inner energy. The moon, our intuition, our emotional self, our inner vulnerable being, meeting Pluto, our transformative self, our ability to adapt and change, to rise from the ashes that we have endured and worked through. These energies meeting us here in the middle is going to allow us to truly see how we have transformed and grown, and how we continue to transform and grow from where we stand. Allowing us to accept these cycles of death and rebirth and death that we continue to shift between. This balance becoming part of our balance. As we see our transformation, we are able to see our true feelings about ourselves, our inner knowing, and how we want to continue to adapt and grow, allowing us to rebirth ourselves anew and allow the ashes of the past to nourish our flight forward instead of holding us back. Given the cycle of release we have been working through since the Aquarius full moon 2 weeks past, this opposition of transformative energy meeting emotional energy is going to allow us a therapeutic release of our past, knowing that we stand here because of our past, but we are not in the past. We are not the past. We are here now. Our next actions define who we are next, allowing us the power to release and renew, the power to put to rest the past and rebirth ourselves. This is going to be a very internal process as the powers of retrograde bringing these energies within our inner being, allowing us to transform at a foundational level, an inner level, a level of deep-seated renewal in alignment with our truest self. The tiny crescent moon will move into Leo as it fades towards no illumination. During this time, Venus, in retrograde motion in Leo, still very close to its previous alignment yesterday with the Sun, is going to form a harmonizing trine with Chiron, also in retrograde. And Chiron. Venus and Chiron. Venus retrograde has been very much about connecting to our inner unconditional love and seeing how it aligns to how we give and receive love, as well as how we give the things we value. This retrograde has been very strong as Leo is connected to the heart space and Venus is the ruler of love, values, and our relationships to both these things. Venus retrograde is often a time where we reveal and shed the toxic love patterns we have attached to our love and relationships, as we see what we really want from love and the people whom we hold in that space. Connecting harmoniously with Chiron, the wounded healer, the representation of the lessons and understanding we learn from our pain, from our wounds, from tending to our wounds of the past. This harmonious connection amplifying the energies of love and acceptance, the energies of release and renewal. For the hardest decisions often come from a place of love, a place of self-acceptance, and a place of renewal from our inner ashes of the past. Perfect energies to aid us in putting to rest the ending cycle and allowing ourselves to open up to what is next. Tuesday, we see the moon enter its dark moon phase. Invisible to the naked eye, the moon stands in darkness, a liminal time between the completion of one cycle and the opening of the next. During this time, the darkness of the dark moon in Leo will form a challenging square with Jupiter in Taurus. So forming a square with Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter in Taurus has been all about grounding our infinite potential in the abundance we have around and within ourselves. The dark moon in Leo, this time of regeneration of the heart space, meeting Jupiter, the planet of infinite potential, of abundance and expansion, is asking us to make a decision, to make a choice in how we are going to present ourselves and allow ourselves to shine. It's time to tap into that inner potential and allow your confidence to shine. Allow yourself to simply be, to simply love, to find the joy in the moment. This challenging aspect is asking you to look at things from a different perspective, to see yourself in different ways, and it's asking you to put to rest the restrictions you hold on yourself. This final release of the past that we have been building and rebuilding towards, aiding us in our transformation and renewal, is going to be amplified when the moon moves into alignment with Venus in retrograde. So we have the moon aligning with Venus in retrograde conjunction. Venus has just undergone her rebirth as the sun and Venus met in alignment in the sky. Now the moon is here in darkness to feel its part. The moon is a reminder to connect to our emotional self and the importance that it holds in how we view love, and how we give love, and how we treat ourselves. Strengthening the energies of loving abundance, the energies that continue to aid us in our growth, allowing us to love the cycles of our rebirth and love the continued evolution of our ever-changing selves. This powerful alignment of the moon in darkness and Venus in inner motion is going to bring our emotions back to our heart, allowing us to see the integrity and joy they bring to our lives. A lot of the time when we are feeling disconnected from ourselves, it is often because we have been ignoring our feelings, bottling them up, storing them somewhere for them to hide. This blocking of emotional energy causes us to become detached from our emotional selves. When we see that the emotional self is powerful, we can see that it is an essential place in our power to align and grow. This alignment of our emotional self and our center of love is going to aid us in stepping into the new beginnings that tomorrow's new moon holds. During this same time of the moon aligning with Venus, the sun in Leo is going to form a challenging square with Uranus in Taurus. So we have the sun up here in Leo squaring with Uranus in Taurus, asking us if we are going to allow ourselves to be free to be our original ever-changing self. Uranus in Taurus is all about freeing ourselves from our inner demons, from our conditioning of the past, and allowing ourselves to change in revolutionary ways that allow us to be. Uranus is the planet of freedom, of liberation, of the rebellion to be our true self. In Taurus, it is grounding these energies, fixing them in our being, in ourself, nourishing us in ways that have allowed us to transform physically. This tension between the self and our liberation is going to shed a light on where we are standing in our path, allowing us to make the decision to get out of our own way. There is more to us than the level of the physical self, and this challenging aspect is reminding us to do the work that will free ourselves on the physical level, those things that will nourish our newest being. Perfect energies to aid us in moving past ourselves, releasing those things that stand in our way, and opening ourselves up to renewal, knowing that we hold the infinite potential and freedom to change and grow. These energies guiding us to continue to walk our paths as our own unique beings, empowering us to simply be who we are in each moment, freeing ourselves from the conditions of ourselves, of our world, and of the energies that try to hold us back. These energies asking us if we have the desire to act for ourselves. Do you want to find the joy in simply being, or do you want to waste time hiding parts of yourself? Wednesday open Wednesday opens with the sun and moon aligning in Leo, the new moon in Leo, a time of new beginnings. So the sun and the moon in conjunction, the new moon in Leo. A time of new beginnings, of renewal, the opening of the cycle ahead. Something new is coming, so open yourself up, ready to shine and have the confidence to do something new. This new moon is a perfect time to be proud of who you are, who you've become, and who you want to be. A time to celebrate and renew yourself. Have the confidence to step forward, have the courage to take a risk, to step into a new opportunity open-heartedly. Remember that you are the king or queen of your story, of your journey. You are the powerhouse that guides your way. So remember who the fuck you are and stand tall in your pride. A perfect new moon to dedicate yourself, to be unapologetically you. This is the moon to take those brave steps forward and to be empowered in yourself. You're amazing. You are powerful, so take your pride in your own hands. The new moon in Leo is also connected to creativity, to playful creation, to the expansion of our inner child and coming from this place of joyous love. A renewal of our heart space and how we turn up for ourselves, and how this alignment of self activates our inner powers, our inner desires, and motivates us to step forward into our growth. The perfect energy to activate something new, something creative, to start a new project. So make those wishes, set those intentions, and put out those energies you want to nourish and grow. When we love ourselves, it shows, it shines, and guides our light to other shores. For a lot of people, this new moon is going to feel like a light at the end of the tunnel. We have been so busy healing and building ourselves that we have forgotten to let ourselves shine, to let ourselves see, and celebrate our success. This enlightening new moon is going to illuminate the power we all hold within, allowing us to open up to a new cycle of growth from a place of love and excitement, bringing this childlike energy to all the things we choose to do, all the intentions and directions we choose to focus. Very liberating, renewing energy for those of us that have been walking through darkness. Know that you are seen, you are loved, better things are coming. This new moon is square with Uranus in Taurus. So we have the sun and the moon in conjunction, squaring with Uranus in Taurus. Bringing a very freeing, liberating energy to this new moon, allowing us the freedom to step into our unique built being. Uranus also carries the energies of revolutionary change that is a breakthrough, that is enlightening, perfectly supporting these energies of empowerment this new moon holds. Our outer self aligned with our inner self, being asked to make the changes that will free us from ourselves and step into our next form of being. All these energies of rebirth coming together to aid us in our transformation of self. It's time to rebirth ourselves and be all those things we long to be. To support these intentions of change and movement forward, we see Mars in Virgo form a trine with Uranus and Taurus. So we have Mars in Virgo forming a trine with Uranus in Taurus. Mars in Virgo is about getting things done. It's about taking the practical steps to bring things into being. These grounding energies aiding our manifestations forward and giving us the energy to take intentional action on our intentions and goals, providing the grounding energies to push us into making those revolutionary changes happen, really allowing us to shift into a different way of being, where we act in a practical way to bring our own freedoms into reality, allowing us to manifest our own power and our ability to nourish our own growth. Now, there may be some variable communication around this new moon in connection with the wounded self, as Mercury in Virgo forms a quintex with Chiron in Aries. So we have this weak connection between Mercury and Chiron. So be careful of any hurt feelings that may arise and how you go about communicating them. Now, even though this aspect isn't the most harmonious, it is connecting us to the practical ways we can communicate our growth and the story of our healing, which can provide those of us whom are moving on from our painful past a way to rewrite the storytelling of that past. Rewriting our storytelling isn't a bad thing. It is allowing us to see the silver lining or the good that has come from those painful aspects. By allowing us to shift from the pain, the negative past, to the good that has grown from those ashes, we are able to shift our storytelling to a more positive expression of self. This shifting of storytelling is very important in avoiding being triggered back into those cycles of pain and reminding us that even though those things were horrible, we can see how those wounds strengthened us in who we are. Shifting our storytelling on our painful past can allow us to close those cycles and allow acceptance that will propel us into our rebirth of self. A transformative new moon that is going to bring us a new opportunity to be our authentic self, to liberate ourselves from the conditioning of our past, and to allow us to open up to new opportunities that will allow us to shine in our confidence of self, to shine in our ability to love ourselves, and to allow us to expand and grow in new, unexpected ways. Are you ready to wipe the slate clean and start again? Thursday, we see some very stabilizing energy that will allow us to build our plan. As the moon moves into Virgo, it will form an opposition with Saturn in Pisces. So now the moon has moved over here into Virgo, and it's opposing Saturn over here in Pisces in retrograde. Saturn is a planet of structure, of boundaries, of strengthening and rebuilding our foundations to enable our growth. Meeting the moon in Virgo, very practical, logical, analytical energies that will allow us to ground on our path forward, bringing our emotional integrity and sovereignty of self into play. Saturn in Pisces is all about building the foundations that will enable us the balance to flow, to be, to go in many directions. It has been challenging us to adapt and change our boundaries and routines as we change and grow. Allowing a go-with-the-flow energy to combine with a structural discipline energy to allow us to adapt at the level of inner foundations. This energy meeting us in the middle, opposing the logical emotional energy of the moon in Virgo, is going to ask us to integrate how we feel about ourselves and how we act on a foundational level, allowing us to build the routines and practices that will allow us to process and communicate our emotions in alignment with our truest self. Beautiful energies to enable us to move into our new routines and activities in this new moon cycle, encouraging us to shift and grow from within, aligning with the self we are enjoying to be, and acting for ourselves from a place of inner love. Towards the end of the day, the moon in Virgo is going to form a trine with Jupiter in Taurus. So the moon is going to form a trine with Jupiter in Taurus, grounding the potential and resources we need to move forward. Perfect energies to amplify the steps we take forward, the plans we are working on and making now that we have focused in on our new growth, our new goals, now that we have opened ourselves up to new opportunities and growth. Jupiter is also the planet of luck. So a very fortunate connection that may just align you in the right place at the right time. If you get the intuition to do something today, do it. It might just walk you into an opportunity that will take you exactly where you want to go. Friday is all about the growing Virgo moon, aligning and harmonizing those energies of communication, liberation, and action, asking us to make the choices that align us with our dreams. We see the moon align with Mercury in Virgo. So we see the moon align with Mercury in Virgo, bringing our emotions into alignment with our communication center, our mind, our center of processing, allowing us to integrate the ways we are now feeling about ourselves and allowing us to communicate those feelings freely. It's important to have our thoughts in alignment, so this conjunction with Mercury is well timed as we are moving into our growth cycle, allowing us to communicate our plans and actions forward. Virgo energy bringing a very organized, logical approach to our communication cycles and systems that can aid us in simplifying things into easy to understand steps forward. A perfect time to build your plan forward and get it down somewhere in writing so that you can refer back to it if you find that you veered off your original plan. But remember, a plan is just a plan, and sometimes they don't happen as we like. But they are also important to have to ground our actions forward. A visual representation of the thoughts and feelings that have been driving our movements at this time. The moon continues to move through Virgo. She will form a trine with Uranus in Taurus. So the moon connecting with Uranus in Taurus, reminding us of the liberation we have in grounding in our being, bringing ourselves and our changes into harmony with our inner feelings and how we are directing those energies forward, keeping us connected to those energies of renewal, of liberation that come from being ourselves, keeping us connected to our inner light, the things that make us shine on our own unique path. Very grounding energies as two earth signs connect to bring things into being, very potent energies for any seeds we have planted and intend to grow. The Virgo moon then aligns with Mars. So she moves along a little bit here and aligns with Mars in Virgo. Mars, our energy of action, our motivation, the reason we choose to act, pushing us into the energy of logical action, of getting things done, motivating us to grow the things we want to nourish, allowing us to put our actions behind our words and feelings, grounding things in our hands and our abilities to take the next steps forward, reminding us that consistent actions lead to expansion and growth, activating our intentional action and giving us the energy to take a stand. Very complementary energies to help push us into action, into growth, to get the momentum going in this new cycle of renewal, growth, and expansion. The moon encouraging us to act for ourselves from a place of love, a place of acceptance, from a place that aligns with who we are and how we feel about ourselves. Finally, the moon will oppose Neptune in Pisces, which is in retrograde motion. So we have the moon shift a little bit more over here in Virgo. It's going to oppose Neptune in retrograde motion in Pisces. Neptune is a planet of dreams, of illusions, and of the ability to see through the illusions and identify our real dreams. Very dreamy energy, meeting these energies of action, of consistency, of endurance, of getting things done, reminding us of why we are making all these decisions and movements forward in the first place, taking us into connection with our inner dreams and goals and how we can discern if they are our own or those we have been conditioned to have from the past, allowing us to integrate and see with clarity how we want to act going forward, how we want to feel about our approach to our dreams, allowing us to bring this mindset of renewal and abundance to our dreams, giving them the flexibility to expand and grow. These energies are really going to aid us in stepping into the flow of our being and grounding us in our present moment, allowing us to align on a level of presence that will expand our actions, our intentions, and our manifestations into material growth, allowing us to ground ourselves in the process and allowing us to be present as we experience and act, allowing us to live on a whole new level that comes from truly being present in this moment and the next. Saturday, we see the moon in void of course, trining Pluto down here in void of course between Capricorn and Aquarius. Saturday, we see the moon in void of course, trine Pluto in retrograde, harmonizing our transformation, harmonizing our rebirth, harmonizing our energy of learning and growing, really bringing us into connection with our cycles and how we can embrace them within our growth and how we can choose to move forward. A powerful moment of harmony that is going to allow us to step into our rebirth, into our transformation, into our acceptance of being our truest form. There's going to solidify those transformations we have been going through since the new moon. Powerful energies that will align us in our cycles forward and allow us to be still in our transformations. As the moon moves into Libra, There is an energy of balance, of harmony, of coexistence. This beautiful energy that will allow us to see the beauty that has unfolded within us, allowing us to see the beauty we hold, allowing us to energetically balance within ourselves and align and harmonize those movements forward, allowing us to give this sense of balance, harmony, and joy that comes from great change. A very peaceful day of recovery, of renewal, of reflection that will allow us to see just where we want to go and allow us to step forward into the newness we have created as we grow. Sunday is also a very peaceful and calm day as we see the power that rest brings to our growth, for we cannot have one without the other. These restful energies reminding us that we cannot build a structure in one day, so we must not burn ourselves out in one go. It's important to find ways to take intentional action consistently without pushing ourselves beyond our limits, breaking things down into realistic steps that build and grow. The waxing moon in Libra, connecting with Venus in retrograde, is going to connect us back to our heart space. So we have the moon here in Libra connecting with Venus in retrograde, making this sextile aspect. It's going to connect us back to our heart space, connect us back to our love, allowing us to blend this love of self, this love of being into our growth, into our balance, bringing very harmonizing, loving energy to where we stand. For Libra is also a ruler of the heart, amplifying this connection to unconditional love and the value that connections have. Reminding us that balance is key, balance is necessary, and that we can act in loving ways that balance who we perceive we are and act from where we stand. A week of empowering, loving energy that will allow us to connect to ourselves on a whole new level, one that sees us as the powerful beings we are, one that loves ourselves just the way we are, one that empowers us to be proud of the person we are, allowing us to create from a place of integrity, a place of clarity, a place of empowerment, a place of sovereignty. Very powerful energies that will allow us to open up a whole new cycle with love and playfulness, allowing us to see ourselves in new ways that allow us to find joy in who we are. By finding this love of our present, we are able to live our life in the moment, flowing freely with love and abundance and building new cycles that will take us in new and unexpected levels of our being. May the energies guide you as you transform and grow. May you awaken a new cycle within that will allow you to experience the joy of each moment. May you love yourself unconditionally, for you are magnificent, you are powerful, you have the confidence to allow yourself to shine exactly where you stand. You have the power to embrace any energies around you in the ways that you want, to take those intentional actions forward, to take the steps that will bring you balance, will bring you harmony, will bring you peace as you grow. I hope that you enjoyed this week's intuitive astrological forecast, and I will see you next week. Goodbye, my friends.